Hello and welcome to another full moon video. My name is Jennifer Irene. This is the Web of Wonder, where we are exploring the craziness of the cosmic skies. It literally feels right now as if we are shedding our dragon skins. And I'm gonna get more into that in a moment. But first of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being here, because your curiosity really is the key for you to transform any emotions that you are experiencing into wisdom. So watching a video like this, learning about astrology, engaging with your peers and with yourself, and inquiring about what is going on, seeking out fresh perspectives, I feel is something very important that helps keep us moving with joy, that helps replenish our system, almost like rejuvenating our being, our body. And it also deeply nourishes the soul as it connects us with the information that is there all around, all available. Hello and welcome to another full moon. My name is Jennifer Irene. This is the Web of Wonder, where we explore what is going on and dive into the craziness. Right now, it literally feels like we are dragons shedding our skins, and I'll share more in a moment about that. But first of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being here, for watching this video, but especially for being curious. It is that curiosity that really is of such a valuable resource to you, and it will help you transform any hardship and any emotion. It is that curiosity, that openness of the heart, that allows you to really seek transformation, process and integrate. That is almost like a magic potion of rejuvenation for the soul, for the being, and that curiosity enabling interesting exchange, sharing information, spreading knowledge and awareness, but most of all, coming closer to yourself. This full moon is in Taurus, which means the sun is in Scorpio. So that is what this time is all about. It is about integrating deep, deep wisdom, shedding layers, and feeling, experiencing that through the body, allowing the earth to evolve with those changes, with that recycling of energy. It is also another supermoon, which means the moon is still at the closest point to Earth compared to its other points in orbit. And this is actually one of a few supermoons that we've been having for a while now. It is the fourth, and you may have been feeling that this moon and the other ones have been especially intense. Through the lens of world affairs, it has been especially dramatically insane, and on a personal level it has also been very, very deep. I feel it as just a continuous deepening, touching new layers of information. And another reason why everything is so really culminated at this moment is we have a series of solar flares, and already in the last weeks, we've had a lot of geomagnetic activity that has been stronger than usual. We've been seeing northern lights in many areas of the globe where it's not usually a sight. And in the last days, I feel like those energies have been stronger again. You may have been noticing it in your dreams or through your body, just feeling a bit more tingly than usual, feeling a bit more light or more dissociated than usual. So these may all be symptoms of energetic activity that is magnetic, that is electric, and is resonating with your organs, with your body. So at the time of this full moon, the moon is actually in conjunction with Uranus in the sign of Taurus, which makes it a powerful, powerful moment of release. Taurus is typically the earth sign, and Uranus is an energy of rebelling, of breaking through, of receiving new tools that come with new responsibilities. It is a sense of liberation that also contains multiple effects. So it is also about using that liberation, using that freedom, using that new power, that responsibility with a sense of wisdom. With the sun in Scorpio, as I mentioned, we are really deepening, and it is all about understanding the natural cycles, the cycles of recycling, because these are based off of utilizing what was there, allowing it to dissolve, to change, to transform, and using all of those components, those fundamental parts, those essential bits and pieces, and reconfiguring them into something new. It is basically an illusion of death that is only the form, the container that something has taken. While all of those essential building blocks, they may continue to exist and they can be reconfigured into something new. Just this fact alone, just Uranus being there with the moon in conjunction could already be the end of the video, because it's already so much. It's already making us feel really, really intense, but also very, very special. But as always, there is more. It's a big pot of things that are all playing together. Aspecting this full moon directly, we have the planet Neptune and the asteroid Ceres. So Neptune is sextiling the moon, which means it's trining the sun. And Ceres is sextiling the sun, which means it's trining the moon. Now, what are these two energies bringing us? Neptune is in Pisces and Ceres is in Capricorn. They're bringing in some water, they're bringing in some earth to balance out the water and the earth that we already have. Neptune is evoking in us the desire to transcend, the desire to understand wholeness, understand unification. It is evoking in us a sense of heightened dream ability, whether that be heightened literal dreams when you sleep during the night, but also heightened visions, heightened third eye activity. I feel that this shedding layers is also allowing the body to shed out the layers of conditioning, the layers of toxicity that have been limiting your point of view. So it's as if this ability to view, to have a wider picture, is getting even more broadness, which is another form of depth. It's just kind of making the whole view, the whole lens widen. And on the other side, Ceres is there reminding us of how to navigate moments of loss, how to activate an inner willpower that allows us to continue searching for something that has gone missing. In mythology, Ceres and the story of Demeter is greatly connected to Demeter losing her daughter and going on a quest to find her daughter, ultimately needing to do other things along the way. It's reminding us of this energy that even in moments of despair, there is also the meaning of this crisis, forcing us to move and leave the space in which we have been in order for us to bring our wisdom and gain wisdom through new exchanges, through different scenarios and different exchanges. And that while we evoke this incredible willpower of demanding that it is returned to us what is rightfully ours, it is also a moment where, we are being invited to understand what this journey has in store for us and be open enough to move into that and find other areas in which we can live out the deep desire, the nourishment that we have to offer to the world, that we have to offer to ourselves, and to really become that figure that we want to be in life, no matter where we are placed. Another prominent aspect we have is an opposition between Jupiter and Mercury. Jupiter being in the sign of Gemini, which is the sign that Mercury rules, and Mercury being in the sign of Sagittarius, which is the sign that Jupiter rules. This brings in a special element of this energy because they are both in signs where the other one that is in opposition can very much relate to, and they maybe have a more easy way of understanding each other. And for those energies that are opposing, that are having complementary ideas, they're also really able to work together, and they like the tools and resources that the other one is proposing and using. So it may make this opposition feel more tranquil, but in any case, this is still going to be an intense energy, for one, because Jupiter is also about expanding, and that is always about more, about bigger, and that is not always only a joyful, pleasant experience. Yeah, being widened and something becoming greater and greater can also feel stressful, it can feel overwhelming. While Mercury is known to rule the nervous system as well, I feel that we are really in this moment of working through ideas, working through concepts, working through beliefs, expanding not only our vision physically, mentally, but also emotionally. Expanding the area of emotion that we are allowing us to feel. This opposition is also squaring Saturn. So there is also this push-pull dynamic between opening and widening and needing limitations. There is a push-pull dynamic between understanding reality and the way that we process information, and all of those understandings kind of dissolving. So there's this energy that is also Uranus in conjunction with the moon, being also our sentimental world, being also our emotional needs, our sense of safety, and the way that we care and nourish ourselves first and foremost, but through that, of course, each other. All of this energy of change, things dissolving, the old version not being tangible, and at the same time, older versions of ourselves, of the world, of our concepts, kind of resurfacing to be reframed or to be given a new purpose. One of the examples, I have this a lot in my life right now, is there are so many memories of my teenage years coming up and surfacing, and yeah, these questions of like, how much do I still connect with any of that? How much do I feel a fear of taking actions that remind me of that self? And how much can I remember actions from that time and utilize them in a very different way? And another way that I feel this is happening right now is through this sense of utilizing old and ancient technologies and really bringing it back to serve a purpose today in the modern, kind of like making things analog again, but like in a really special way that have just like turned more and more and more digital, but then just like bringing back the roots of something. And while on one hand things are dissolving that are kind of connected to our sense of physical reality, on the other hand also things are coming back again that are physical and that are reality and always have been and have just kind of been forgotten. So I feel that it kind of goes both ways. And I feel that this topic of repurposing, recycling, or even just remembering the original purpose of something is, yeah, very highlighted right now. Mars is in 3 degrees of Leo, and Leo is the sign of self-expression, which is really about anchoring in and understanding and living out that purpose and taking action on that and using it, using the drive, using the momentum to really express and be playful, be theatric, being dramatic, being entertaining, being also understanding of the desire to continue to cycle and recycle and create and procreate and all of those things that come with life, all of those options and abilities that we have, the different ways of expressing. While this energy is in opposition with Pluto, it's a wide opposition. Mars is already in 3 degrees of Leo, while Pluto is not yet in Aquarius, but actually at the end of this month, Pluto will be in Aquarius, which means in our lifetime we will not experience Pluto in Capricorn again. So this is a big change, a big moment, and we've been talking about this for 1.5 years now, so you probably know this. You probably know how this energy feels, and that it can be like looking a last time at those topics, those issues right now. It can also be the crisis of transformation that we are undergoing right now. Venus in sextile to Juno, Juno being in Scorpio together with Lilith, and Venus being in Capricorn, also highlights this desire for just simply allowing, through a process of trust and love and being loyal to the original commitment that we made becoming into existence, the original commitment that we made birthing ourselves here into this realm, into this dimension, onto this land, onto this earth, into this body. That commitment, trusting this cycle of transformation, being a part of that commitment, and understanding that without being able to see everything, we keep falling into these patterns of fear. But what is actually happening is that we are constantly being given opportunities to change and opportunities to grow. And depending on how we utilize that information to influence our belief systems, to communicate through our nervous systems, and to communicate to each other, and to utilize that to give us visions going in a direction that favors the manifestation of that, or going in a direction that limits the manifestation of that, is something that has to do with the heart. And it is something that has to do with being open and vulnerable enough to receive the gifts of life that are just so complex we cannot grasp it all, we cannot understand it all. And by the way, Mars is also trining the North Node. So I feel that we are still being invited to just slowly and steadily take actions in the direction that our heart is guiding us, and to make sure that the stability, the foundations that we can trust upon, they begin in the heart. Those are the foundations. Those are the foundations that are within the contract of life unfolding that we consented to when we began to exist. And it is that heart knowledge, that heart energy, and that heart wisdom that will kind of guide the process of evolution and anchor in that sense of grounding, that sense of connectedness. So if you can stay with your heart, and staying with the heart means coming back to the heart, because we will be swayed in all kinds of directions. Staying with the heart means every time you notice, making a decision to come back to the heart, feel with the heart, transmuting through the heart, and allowing that center to be the foundation that is strong enough to continue being a stable grounding force through all of these cycles and layers of dissolving and transmuting and recycling. I feel like these energies are very complex right now, and that there's so much new energy that it's already a lot of like things for us to process. So instead, I want to give us all an image that maybe will simplify what is going on right now. So this is an image that actually came through a book that I'm reading right now, which is The Chronicles of Narnia. Probably many of you have heard of it before. And the specific book is The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. And in the chapter I was reading yesterday, spoiler alert, small spoilers. So one of the characters had been transformed accidentally into a huge dragon. And after some of the story continued and processed, the way that this figure was able to transform itself back into human form again, it needed to shed its skin. And it was told that by the lion that is the creator of this whole land that is called Narnia. And it had been told that it needed to undress. It needed to shed. And after shedding layer upon layer upon layer of its skin, it was not able to shed the skin so much that it was enough. Aslan actually then supported and took off that last bit of skin, and it was a very different process. All of the other processes of shedding the layer of skin had been more pleasant, more pleasurable, enjoyable. And now that last skin, it was much more like a pleasure pain kind of experience. It was described as when you pick the scab off of a wound that is healing, and it hurts, but you still want to do it. That level of shedding was required. And after that, getting into a soothing bath of water of some magical lake there on this island. And after all of those steps of the process, this character was able to maintain his human form back. So I felt that was such a beautiful image describing what a lot of what is going on right now feels for me in my personal life, how I also interpret things happening in the world, is this intense process of shedding our skins, of shedding the layers and really taking off the things that we have outgrown. We don't fit into them anymore. To experience a loss of something that is not suitable for us anymore. We see that in the natural world with crabs that change their shells, their houses. We see that with snakes and other reptiles that just like naturally take off their skins. And so it is allowing and evoking even that process of cleansing, that process of letting go and surrendering to something being removed, that is very beneficial right now to just become content with, to understand, and to understand the wisdom in that and the relief of that and the joy of that as well. It's this process that is also an interesting word was used to describe it, undressing. And that is the scorpionic energy as well, and the sun, the light of illumination, our consciousness being there in Scorpio. It is undressing a layer, allowing others in the world and yourself and your partner to see another layer, the experience to witness another layer, undressing something even more, and can feel especially vulnerable. It can be a very vulnerable time. But as with all things, it will evolve, it will change, it will become into something, and you have the option, you have the sovereignty of guiding yourself through this process. And I think we are also really guiding each other. There is so much more awareness of allowing someone else to support in that process right now. So for this full moon, I feel like that is my suggestion, is to really focus on mutual support, on consensual shedding of the skin, of focusing on allowing to see the other's intention with the heart, and feeling that action, that experience through the heart consciousness. And ultimately, that process of purifying will allow us to take the shape again that we most desire, the shape of the sovereign self. I want to finish off this video by asking the tarot, and I have a beautiful tarot deck here that is the Mother Peace card deck by Karen Fogel and Vicky Noble, to give us one card to bring all of this knowledge into integration, to support us with a spark that will allow us to be more soft with this process, that will allow us to stay confident and to see with love and trust. Wow. I know that because I'm not like shuffling on camera, it might be hard to believe that this just actually came out, but that is just the experience with the tarot. And if you read tarot cards, you know, you have hundreds of experiences like this. This is literally what came out. This is the card 13. It is the card of death, and if I can get my camera to focus, it is a snake unraveling its skin. There's a skeleton there, the birch trees. This is literally what I was just talking about. I think I cannot sum it up more than this. This is the card of death, the card of transformation. The card also called the Reaper, because it is also a reaping of the process. It is also eating the fruits, yeah? And the moment that we eat the fruits that are ripe on the tree, they start to decompose in our bodies. So it is about understanding the different layers of a process, and that they are both ending points and beginning points, and it just really depends on the point of view that you choose. The birch tree also being a really beautiful, powerful tree, a force of cleansing, of relieving, of purifying, and also a tree that helps us anchor and connect with innocence, with purity. And yeah, the snake really going also right in between those two trees. It's a moment of in between, and it's a moment where we have to almost squeeze through that passage. And people use the metaphor of a birth so often because that is exactly what it is. The baby literally helps birthing itself, squeezing through that passage. And this is what we are doing right now. So let me read to you from the beautiful guidebook, just because the words are so powerful, I feel. And I want to honor this author and their beautiful teachings. It is written here: the death goddess places bones at the base of a birch tree. Carefully she puts the body in the shape of a fetus in a womb. Soon she will be ready for new life. The old one is over. Leaves fall to cover the bones. A copperhead snake arrives to shed its skin. The snake turns around to watch itself change. There is still some shedding left, even though the older body is already dead. In death, she lets go of a core part of herself. She sheds a skin, and there is usually some effort involved. She may be quite ready to make a change, but there can still be grief, anger, and pain. Usually, the death refers to the ego, an attitude, or a relationship. It is about an organic and final change, but it is rarely about physical death. So I feel this beautifully sums it up, and I just want to let that sink in and resonate and reverberate. So with that, I will close this session. Thank you for listening. If you would like personal guidance and support in your life, you can reach out to me. All the information is linked below for a personal reading, a personal session. I also offer constellation sessions, family constellation, but also topics outside of the classic range of family dynamics. And if you would like to support me, you can do so by watching a beautiful music video that I just released. I'm also a musician, and it is actually an audio-visual journey called Rooted in Water, which is perfectly fitting the theme of Taurus and Scorpio at this moment. So for some extra magical and witchy full moon vibes, get yourself a cup of tea and dive into a 30-minute visual sound journey. So thank you all so much for listening and watching and being here, sharing your wisdom. I would be happy to read your comments. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel. That would help me a lot. And I'm looking forward to seeing you with the next new moon.